Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be looking at some common home buying myths and why they just aren't true. I'm curious to see which ones you've heard of before. Let me know in the comments down below. Now let's jump right into it. The first and probably most common myth about buying a home is that you need a 20% down payment. That's a lot of money, and in fact, it just isn't true. According to the National Association of Realtors, the median down payment amount is 13%, and less than 44% of home purchases are made using 20% down payment. There's a lot of different options available to you. You could use a VA, FHA, or USDA loan. You could get down payment assistance. Or you could even use a conventional loan and get mortgage insurance. All these different options vary by location and lender. So talk with your lender and see what's available to you. Another common home buying myth is that it's cheaper to rent than it is to own. And in the short term, this may be true, but in the long run, it's better to own for a number of reasons. For one, rent may increase every year, whereas your mortgage payment will stay stable. Another reason is that you gain equity by owning your home, both in the monthly payments that you're making, which you can recapture when you sell your home, but also in the value of your home rising over time. If you're thinking about purchasing a home, you may have heard that you need to be completely debt-free and have a perfect credit score before you can apply for a mortgage. But that just isn't the case. In fact, lenders expect most people applying for a mortgage to have some sort of debt, and they'll account for this by looking at your DTI, or debt-to-income ratio. They'll adjust your monthly payment amount so that you can still fulfill all your other obligations in addition to paying your mortgage. And while it is true that generally speaking, higher credit scores give more favorable rates, there are a number of different programs available from lenders for people in all different situations. So speak with your lender, see what's available for you. And speaking about lenders, another common myth is that all lenders are the same and offer the same mortgages to everybody. When in reality, the rates and fees can vary drastically between lenders. So do your research and shop around between a few different lenders. See who's willing to give you the best deal. You may have heard that a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage is the only way to purchase a home, but there's actually a number of different options available, such as adjustable-rate mortgages and 15-year fixed-rate mortgages. While most people will opt for a 30-year fixed-rate mortgage because it has the lowest monthly payment, it really depends on your situation and your priorities. You may want to talk with your loan officer and see what other options are available and if they fit you and your goals. After you've shopped around with a number of different lenders and looked at all the different options available to you, you'll want to pick one of those and get a pre-approval letter from that lender. Another common misconception is that the interest rate you see on that pre-approval letter is the interest rate you'll pay on your mortgage. But you may need to tell your loan officer specifically the date when you want to lock that rate, or it may not be locked until closing. So you'll want to talk about that with them and make sure that you're clear on when that interest rate gets locked. And remember that even after you get a pre-approval letter, you can still shop around and decide to go with a different lender. Just be sure to talk with your real estate agent and make sure that you have enough time to get all the paperwork in order before your closing date. The next myth we're going to look at is that you need to find the perfect home before applying for your mortgage, when in reality you really should do it the other way around. You want to have your mortgage all set up and in order before you start looking at homes. There's a couple of reasons for this. One, the sellers are going to want a copy of that pre-approval letter from the lender so that they know you're serious and that you have the ability to close on their home. The other reason is that you don't want to find the perfect home only to find out that it's just out of your budget and you won't be able to qualify for it. It's better to get everything in order and then start looking for homes. Speaking of things you shouldn't go without, you may have heard that you don't need a real estate agent anymore to purchase a home. I mean, everything's available online, right? Well, there's a few things that real estate agents can bring to the table. They have access to information not publicly available on the MLS, and they're in the middle of buying and selling real estate every day, so they know more about the current market conditions and what's going on in your area. They're also skilled negotiators and know the ins and outs of the contracts used for buying and selling real estate. So it's in your best interest to utilize their help. Whether you live somewhere where it gets cold and snowy, or somewhere that it's sunny and 75 year-round. Another common myth is that it's best to buy real estate in the spring and summer. And we do see higher sales volume of homes in the spring and summer. But if you're looking at purchasing, you may consider looking during the winter time. There will be less competition from other buyers, and you may be able to negotiate for a way better deal than you could have gotten in the summertime. And speaking of waiting for the right time, another mistake that many people make is waiting for home prices to go down, or waiting until they can afford their forever home. Traditionally in the US, home prices have appreciated year over year, with very few exceptions. So anybody that waits too long is missing out on the equity gains that they could have been making over that time. And speaking of equity gains, if you're waiting to afford your forever home, you're also missing out on those equity gains. It's better to purchase a starter home and start building your equity. You can always sell that home and roll that equity into a bigger place or a place in a different location that fits your goals later on. While you're out looking for homes, don't fall for the myth that the asking price is set in stone, or that you have to offer over or under the asking price. It really depends on the current market conditions and what's going on in that area. This is where an agent can come in handy. They'll give you their recommendations on what you can offer and what they think the seller may find acceptable. And remember, once the seller accepts your offer, the deal isn't done. There's still a number of things that need to happen. This is where your home inspection comes in, and you need to get final lender approval. Until you make it to the closing day, the deal's not done. So be diligent as you're going through the process. Well, I hope you found this video interesting and learned something new today so that you don't fall for one of these common real estate myths. Is there another myth that you can think of that I didn't cover? Put it in the comments down below. Maybe I'll put it in another video. If this is your first time on the channel, we're happy to have you. Click the subscribe button down below so you can follow along as we learn more about buying and selling real estate. Thanks, and I hope you have a great day.